It's Monday, the 8th of December 2025, and in this evening's show, we go over yesterday's thumping victory over Carlisle in front of the TNT TV cameras as Blackpool progressed to the third round of the FA Cup over Mark Hughes Cumbrians. We also react to the FA Cup draw, which has just been made. Oh, could it get any worse? Ipswich away. We're also looking ahead to a big league game away at Rotherham on Wednesday evening, and then Lincoln at home on Saturday. And the less said about Harrogate Town in the Virtue Trophy, the better. I'm John Hospital. This is Seaside's Match Reaction Show. Blackpool 4, Carlisle 1. Phew, got all my words out. Just about in my notes, I put the third round draw. We will be reacting to it. Obviously, when I wrote those notes, the draw hadn't been made. Andy giving us a thumbs down, and Tim also on the panel this evening. Could it get any worse if you'd have got out a pen and paper, worked out all the variables, distance, winnability, glamour, TV opportunity? I don't think you could have picked a worse possible tie.
Well, Ruth called it, didn't she, of course? She called it in the chat when we were on the podcast pages chat. She said, we all talked, so what would be our worst draw? And she said Ipswich. And I don't think she's too far wrong, to be honest. I think if you analyse what you want from a fixture in the third round, you either want something that's winnable, so you want a non-league team that's left in, or most certainly you want a home tie, or you want a glamour tie, or you want something that's within reasonable travelling distance with a decent away end. And we've basically got none of that, have we? We've got a game that is going to be incredibly difficult to win. It's probably, on a good day, a 6-hour drive. It's 175 quid on the train, according to Nick, with bus replacement services en route. And I don't think we've ever won there. So, it's not... Talk about after the Lord Mayor's show, we sort of, been feeling quite good today, and I just watched the game back just before we came on, so the highlights, and I thought, we played well, and we had a great day. We'll go and talk about it. We had a great day yesterday, and then that, and it's just like popping the balloon, isn't it? Popping the balloon. Maybe I shouldn't be so negative. Maybe we can go there and win, but I won't be. I don't think many other people will be going.
Well, look at what David Coleman's just said to what you've said there, Tim. We've never beaten Ipswich away. Is that a fact?
Probably. But it's just got no interest. I
can't remember one.
Zero interest in going. There will be ones people who will go, and good luck to them, but not for me.
Yeah, Andy, big kick in the bollocks when that ball came out, and what was even more annoying was Nobber's drawn at home and ball 53 comes out. If the FA had any nous or knowledge about the history of the clubs who've won it, it'd have picked out Blackpool, but it was Wigan. And then that bombshell came. As Tim said, we were joking in our chat. I put a message out saying, let's just do a sweepstake for the worst possible draw. My sister, 2 posts later, just puts Ipswich away, and out it comes.
Shocking. They get the Ryan Lowe derby, of course, don't they? The Nobbers, they get Ryan Lowe going back to Dumpdale, to scene of his former sins before he saw the light. Just like really, I went to watch Leighton play football this afternoon, and I said, you got to tune in for the draw. Let's hope we get a big one. And I was winding up after yesterday, sort of saying, like, now we can get a chance for a big tie, because you really want to take your kids, don't you, to these big games, and then we get that, and his reaction wasn't very complimentary once we drew Ipswich, put it that way. So you just think, for him, more than anything, for him, the younger ones, we've all seen them at big grounds and in big games and been to Wembley and things like that. The young kids coming through, they need something to hold their hat on where they have a big day out as well. And it's a bit of a kick in the whatsits, but listen, I'm sure Evo will be telling the team that they can go there and win against Ipswich reserves, and let's hope they do.
The irony is, when we were all boycotting, we got Arsenal twice, didn't we? It's like you couldn't make it up, and we've had nothing since. Nothing.
No.
So
I think it is frustrating, and like we can't underestimate the fact that the kids coming through need those big days they're really what you remember, and let's hope there's some around the corner. I mean, Ipswich are starting to play a bit better now, and they're up to 4th in the league. Will they think like by that time they've just had a really busy Christmas, and hopefully they'll put out the reserves, and that gives us a chance to go there and win.
Those of a certain vintage will remember us winning in 1978 against Ipswich, Bobby Robson's team. I think I'm sure
they were the UEFA Cup, didn't they?
Holders at the time that we played them. I think was it in the? Did we actually play them in the League Cup? I think it might have been the League Cup. We won 2-0. It was actually.
I think they won the FA Cup, didn't they, in '78? Did that Roger Osborne score?
No, but whenever it was we played them, and my recollection is it was 1978. I think it might have been in the League Cup, but we played them, and I think they were FA Cup winners. They were FA Cup holders, I should say. When we played them, I think we definitely won 2-0 at home, and it was literally a minuscule before I started watching them, and I actually missed. I didn't go to the game, but I started watching them that season. So. It was, I think we played, it was my first year at secondary school or something, or last year at primary school.
I mean, the last decent third round cup draw I can remember was 99-2000 Arsenal away. I was living in London at the time. Went to the game, went 1-0 down, the Ghost equalised in front of the North Bank. I don't know if anyone recalls that one. Yeah.
Man City in 1984 was probably the one I remember the most, just because it's the fullest I've ever known Bloomfield Road before. Well, I think it was roughly the same as the capacity in the Premier League, but I'd never. Bearing in mind this is 1983, 84. We'd had to apply for re-election in 82, 83, and we're getting really dismal crowds, worse than last night. And we had like 16,000 in Bloomfield Road and we won. It was fantastic.
Yeah, all the ties that you're begging for, even if it was away, one of the big ones, or new stadium, Everton or Tottenham or something like that. And then all your hopes are up. No, I was hoping for either one of them or a non-league team at home. Like give us almost a good go through to the 4th round, if you like. But just a kick in the gooloos, and I think probably Evo will think the same as we speak, because he looked quite excited after yesterday, and I think he really wanted to lead Blackpool out a big team and give everyone a real, because he remembers, obviously Evo remembers Wembley's and all the and big days out, doesn't he?
Well, see, we might be going all doom and gloom and knowing in typical Blackpool fashion, none of us will go, and then we'll absolutely spank them about 3-0.
And then we'll all be there for the 4th round.
As Andy said, maybe they will play a weekend side, wholly focused on promotion back to the Premier League. Could have our strongest team back. We could have Ennis and Taylor back by then.
I do think Evo, and there's a little bit of guesswork going on here, but based on what he did at Bolton, he seemed to. He's not one of these managers, I think, who plays a weakened team in the cup competitions. From what I've seen, they won the Virtue Trophy, whatever it was called at the time, didn't they? While he was there, and I think we've seen, he put a strong team out yesterday. and in the first round against Scunny, didn't he? So I don't think he's, he used to annoy me a little bit with Holloway when he was here, that he never took the cup seriously at all and just literally basically gave the games away before you even started. So I think we'll go strong. They may not. Who knows? I'm not going to talk myself into going to the game, but you never know, do you? It's a game of football at the end of the day.
You mentioned the Virtue Trophy there, Tim. I think I did say we weren't going to talk about it on the intro, but I think we should just touch on it from last week, Harrogate away. I decided to go to the gym for the first half. Such was my disinterest in it. I was going to go, but made the wise decision to not go. Just flicked mob off after about 20 minutes. Could not believe my eyes. 3-0 down after 15 minutes, and it was quite a strong team as well.
Well, it was virtually the first team, wasn't it? And I don't know whether the team they put out was their first team, but they are really struggling in League Two this year. And to go 3-0 down, I didn't watch it. I've got no interest in that cup competition at this stage. But and when I looked at the team and I saw the team were putting out, I was quite surprised how strong it was, to be honest. And I think this is partly to do with the fact that Evo's still trying to get them to play to his system, isn't he? And I think his view probably is that he needs to keep a lot of that first team on the pitch, get them fit, because they're not. I know you alluded to a story, Andy, that you'd heard from the last regime, and I think the fitness is a massive thing. And I think as we're going to talk about last night's game, maybe we are starting to turn a corner a little bit with the way that the team are playing. But so I think that's part of it. I think he's thinking minutes on pitches for the first 11 is what's required at the moment, whatever the opposition is. And Bison's right. Hard work. Everybody's talking about Liverpool at the moment, aren't they? Now, crap they are. And my Liverpool supporting mate just says they're not working hard enough, and we didn't work hard enough. And the one thing that Everett said right from day one is that we won't come off the pitch being the second, the second team from the point of view of working hard. And I think if you do that and you get that over to the players, and it becomes a thing they do without even thinking about it, that they will work hard, they will press for every ball. Then you start to get those little decisions and those little bits of luck that you didn't get when you weren't working quite as hard, because you're creating more chances, you're creating more opportunities for the opposition just to make a little mistake.
Nearly got it back, Andy, didn't we, in the Harrogate game? But it was too little, too late. But good to see a bit of fight in the second half and a bit of professional pride from the players. Could have quite easily got a draw in the end. Don't know if you saw it.
We created loads of chances, didn't we, and just couldn't put the ball in the net. And the worrying thing is even when we're winning, we're conceding a lot of chances. And we beat Cardiff. Cardiff missed loads of chances. We won yesterday, and they had a load of chances. And you just know that now that's going to happen, then you just got to hope that their radar isn't firing. And unluckily, Harrogate were at the start, and we weren't in the same prolific form at the start of the second half. And if we'd have got a couple of goals back at the start of the second half there, we'd probably run out quite easily. Easy winners, I would have thought. But
you seem quite
miss your chances, and that's what you get.
He seemed quite happy with the second half performance.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and I also think the problem he had was if he had a right go at them again, that you've got to balance what you say, because you don't want to create too much negativity. Because at the end of the day, he hasn't got a lot of options, has he?
Yeah.
That we're still nursing back those off the sick table, and he's only got so many cards in his deck, and I think after Reading and the performance there, you can be too negative as a manager in your post-match comments, because the players will listen to it, they'll read the papers, they'll listen to the radio, whatever. They'll come and listen to our show. I don't know whether they do that, but
of course they do, Tim. Of course
they will pick up on stuff, and I think he has to be measured in keeping the right type of atmosphere in the dressing room, and that it isn't all negative, that there is some positivity in there as well. And he did, I didn't watch it, so I can't say, I can't talk too much about it. But he did seem that he was happier with the second half performance. I mean, it couldn't be any worse than that first half, really, could it? From to be 3-0 down in, what was it, 30 minutes? 15 minutes, I think it was, wasn't it, actually?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
I think there's been times where Healer wanted to go off his cake with what's going on, but you're right, he can't, and he's got to carry these players along with him. He's got to carry the ethos, his own ethos around, but he will want to say some home truths that he can't say. I'm absolutely convinced, and a lot of football is going to be man management, and a lot of and then it's making sure that they can work to a system and that they understand that system. They're a work in progress, because as we've said before, we flip-flopped from 5-3-2 to 4-4-2 to 5-3-2 again, and like, some of these players have been bought for a 4-4-2. A lot of these players have been bought for a 4-4-2, and we're now playing a 5-3-2. And I feel a bit sorry for him in a lot of ways. That, and it's wholly obvious that some of these players are not good enough. Some have been given contracts that are eye-watering, so one or two definitely, and some of the new signings, Honeyman especially, starting to show a bit of what he's about. And one thing is for sure: if you were watching that game yesterday, you weren't going to say George Honeyman was lacking in any effort on that pitch yesterday. He was everywhere, trying his best. Forget about whether he's good enough or quality was good enough, which he is a lot of the time with him, but his actual work rate was extraordinary.
Okay, let's get on to the lineup for the Carlisle match. Changes were ringed by Evo in the back three: Peacock, Fowling, net, Horsfall, Carey and Ashworth. Ashworth coming in for Heckway on the left side of the back three. No surprises there.
Was he injured in Heckway?
No, he wasn't even on the bench. I think.
I assumed, because he wasn't even on the bench, and I hadn't heard he was injured, that he must have been injured. But maybe he is making a point there.
Probably just taking him out of the firing line, Tim, to be honest, because he came in for pelters, didn't he?
And he has played a lot of football, I suppose, as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, three centre mids: Honeyman, Brown, Hanson. No sign of Evans, which is a bit of a tick for a lot of people. Banks inverted on the right wing back, Coulson left wing back, and Fletcher and Bloxham up front. Tim, no Evans in the middle. Hanson playing that role as the.
A lot saw that as a positive, didn't we?
Yeah.
I did. Good to see Banks playing as well. I think I was pleased to see him in the team, and generally, again, I was just pleased that we didn't start ringing in too many changes, and we didn't start, sort of playing a lot of reserve players, which I know some managers would do. But it was a team to me that was set up to try and get a result, and I quite like the fact that Coulson was pushed a bit further forward as well, because he's got his critics, I think it's fair to say. But I think you get the best out of him when he's playing further up the pitch.
What about the attendance, Andy? Very sparsely populated ground, outnumbered by Carlisle fans. We were all there in attendance. It's understandable, but not to those levels. What was it? A couple of thousand Blackpool fans, quite poor, really.
It was less than Scunny, wasn't there?
But you can't, given the fact of how the team's been doing, right? Let's park that to one side for a minute. What's coming out the club? Forget the owner. I'm not honestly, because I genuinely think he's got the right interests at heart for us, right? I just think he's been badly advised. Personally, that's how I feel, and I think that's something that's coming all around us as fans. A lot of us are talking about this, and when you create apathy around your club, as Raggy rightly put it the other day, an apathetic fan base is worse than an angry fan base, because an apathetic fan base just won't come. An angry fan base will tell you, and they'll absolutely protest and give it you, right? And so you understand where they're at. When they're an apathetic fan base and they don't turn up, it's like no customer feedback. The only customer feedback you've got is them not coming. And I felt yesterday was a bit of the apathetic fan base scenario.
Quid a kid thing by Andy there. Look at what Bison's said. Tomo was saying, why don't they do a quid a kid over on Tuesday? That's a good shout. It should have been.
Well, no, they can't do that without agreement from the other club, and the other club might not have said.
Plus we couldn't charge Carlisle a lot of money for their tickets as well, possibly as well.
You can only charge Carlisle what you advertise out yourself. So, why I agree with Bison's. That'd be brilliant to have done it. We have to get agreement from others to do that for the cup games. For the league games, we'll get 4 fixtures where we can do that ourselves without anybody.
We don't even use up our allocation that we can use in the league.
No, in a lot of cases, no. But it comes to the what we hearing. Like, we've got 2 guys, we've got a CEO and a sporting director. We hear from neither of them hardly any ever time, right? The last time we heard from the CEO, it was an absolute car crash of an interview and trying to justify something that was non-justifiable. And they've got to do better. And if the owner is listening, right, it's not about you. This is about your employees, like, doing something to enthuse us, and that's what they need to do.
I'm not going to make a big thing of this, Andy, but we turn up. We did hospitality yesterday, and it's 45 quid. And I tell you what, when we got in there, it was brilliant. The staff are fantastic. The food offering for the price was fantastic. We had a great day. All the lads who go on the European trips, we decided to make a bit of a splash on it and all meet up. And but we turned up at 3:30, thinking, right, well, let's make a bit of a day of it. And we got turned away at 3:30. It's only 2 hours before kickoff. There's 10 of us, all with money in our pockets, or cards in our pockets these days, wanted to spend money in the club, and we got sent away in the pissing rain, and we had to go in the Armfield for half an hour because they weren't opening at 3:30. And I'm thinking, and listen, there may have been something in some email somewhere that said it was 4 o'clock entry, but it wasn't on the tickets. And it was just like, well, no, sorry, you're going to have to go away. Can't let you in yet. Now, bear in mind, normally on a hospitality gig on a Saturday, they want you there. It's from 3 hours beforehand. So from 12 onwards, they open. So turning up 2 hours beforehand, you think you're going to get in. You'd think you'd get in, wouldn't you?
I was at a Man City hospitality on Saturday. I've got a mate in the Premier League, and theirs opened 3 hours before. But we were all there on the absolute dot because it was as much booze as you could chuck down your neck, included in the price. So. But that's poor.
So John had his 2 pints.
Yeah. 2 halves of mild and a sweet sherry as a chaser.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, that's
Bristol cream.
Different world, Man City corporate. Absolutely, it's like a completely different world.
Well, I did Villa on Saturday, and it was just like breathtakingly good. The football and the hospitality and the attention to detail, and that's what you've got to aim for. And to be fair, the reason I went because of Ben Hatton, who was obviously our CEO during the interim board period, and he was in charge. Not just in charge of the room, but in charge of the whole thing. And it was just on a different level, and that's what we should be aiming for. There shouldn't be there shouldn't be we haven't got that. There shouldn't be anything. He's got like they're like Alan McAnally coming around to all the tables and asking what the score was going to be, and everybody engaged. There was Tommy Johnson there, obviously was at Blackpool for a period. Mark Walters, Kenny Swain, European Cup winner back in the day. But they're not. There's no pretensions. They literally go around, talk to everybody, absolutely top notch, and that's what you can do that in League One. You can do that in League One at every level. I'm not talking about this about hospitality. I'm talking about every single facet of the football club.
I wonder if they had any pies at half time. I didn't even bother going anymore.
You might have got one.
Didn't want to waste my time.
I had a look over. I had a look over my left shoulder at some time just before kickoff, and I saw a certain N. Smith with a pie.
Did you really? I was in the West. It was in M Block again. You don't want to get up in there because last time I was a season ticket holder in the West, you get tutted at, don't you? If you leave halfway through it, you get tutted at if you're not in at least 5 minutes before kickoff. So you don't want to move unless it's the designated period in a.
Well, you feel West. A bit guilty as well because some of the people in there are slightly less mobile than us, aren't they? And so you actually do feel guilty that most people stand up.
Anyway, let's go on to the game.
Anyway, let's get on with it.
Let's have it.
Carlisle started quite brightly. I've put in my notes. Numerous corners. Peacock Forwell flapping for one, but we had the first main chance of the first half. Bloxham looking a bit dangerous, Tim. That one when he ran into the box but checked back for some reason. He burst forward, ran through, but for some reason he checked backwards and the chance had gone. If you're looking a bit bemused, Andy.
I am
looking.
I'm sorry. I'm with it. Sorry, I was.
Go on. I had Fletcher as the first one, which was a bit of a scoop thing, wasn't it? That seemed to scoop over and it didn't quite hit the target. But I thought we did start. I thought the two of them up front worked really, really well together. And I think Bloxham probably is coming for a lot of criticism this season, and he is playing out of position. But I think he looked a little bit more at home. Now, whether that's because of the opposition, the stand the opposition were playing, or whether it's down to the fact that he's actually finding his feet up front, you can argue it both ways around. But I was generally, I don't remember that particular chance, but I remember just generally thinking he's working. Well, which they all were. Andy's spoken about Honeyman, and I think you can go through the team and say that for a lot of them yesterday, that they all put the effort in, which is great to see. And I thought probably Bloxham was one of those ones that stood out for me for his effort. And when I watched the goals back, he seems to be involved in pretty much every chance on some level or another, bar maybe Fletcher's second. So that's great to see. But yeah, I can't remember that specific chance, unfortunately. John,
bring in this man then. He can.
I can remember it all. God knows how. After I was up at 5 a.m. to fly back from Lanzarote.
Fair play, Andy, for making that back. Yeah, well done.
Well, some people have to change their flight to get a FA Cup game against Carlisle, don't they?
But look at Big Dogs. Makes a good point there, Andy. Bloxham's doing all right as a temporary centre forward. I think it's easy to forget that is not his position, centre forward. He's after a slow start. I think he's coming good, and I think his improvement in fitness is a big factor in that.
He's playing games. He's playing games now, and he's playing every week. And that makes hopefully he makes it hard for Ennis and Taylor to get back in, when they are fit. And that is good for us if that happens. But, like, he'll get more and more confident if he's scoring goals, if he's starting games and scoring goals. And, like, it was a bit of a scruffy one that he's eventually scored yesterday after Banks had 3 chances in one to try and score. And then sort of ran for Bloxham, didn't it? And he sort of stuck in the corner to give us a 1-0. And we come through that really... although we started the game really well, they had about 5 or 6 corners, didn't they?
Yeah, I put that in my notes. Yeah.
So I was a bit worried they were sort of swarming all over us a little bit, but having not scored, and then once we scored, that we looked a lot more settled, didn't we?
A couple of early chances.
This team needs the confidence.
Yeah, it does for Fletcher. Tim, as I think you mentioned there, great bowling from Ashworth, or slide rule pass, the one he scuffed wide that you've mentioned. But we've gone 1 up, and they've come straight back at us afterwards. There was their right back. I was looking up his name before. Williams, he was called. He was absolutely rapid, wasn't he?
Yeah, was he the one that put across from the left?
That 1-2, played the 1-2. It was a 1-2 that he had a lot of work to get on the end of, but he did. The cross has been pulled back, and Peacock Farrell's made a worldie of a save to keep that out.
That was superb. And I think Peacock Farrell, I think he's had his critics, but I think if you look at his performances, probably over the last 10 games, maybe, I don't think there are many occasions where any real criticism can be levied his way. And as we'll go on to talk about on Sunday, you've got 3 or 4 pretty decent, if arguably top class saves coming out of him. And that was the first one for me was when the ball goes right from the left wing right the way across, and I can't remember which player it was. Comes in on the right and hits it, and he pulls off a really decent save for me.
His critics are quiet now, aren't they?
Yeah,
his critics are quiet now.
And I think that because all of a sudden, if that goes 1-1, then and they have they've got 3.5, probably nearly double our support in the ground, to be honest. And we didn't need to give them any reason to get behind the team and cause us problems, because that was always my fear for this game. And I must admit, before kickoff, I was a bit worried that with having effectively the home support in the ground, and it's their I'm not being disparaging about this, but it's like their big day out, isn't it? It's their big day out of the season. It's FA Cup second round, Blackpool. You can tell by the home stands that it means virtually zero to our lot. So you don't want them on the front foot. You don't want them in the game. And I think credit to Peacock Farrell. He made sure that they didn't get that early route back into the game. And obviously as the first half goes on, we take control.
What Neil said there, Tim, big saves at 0-0, then at 3-1. Carlisle pushing big saves at crucial times. I think that's the absolute key point there. Yeah, fully agree with that, Neil. Andy, so we've gone 1 up, more pressure. Couple of powerful runs again from Fletcher. From Bloxham, he's been put through own goal. That time he was just kind of wasn't in control of the ball, lost it. The ball just like pinballed off.
I know, and we had that one with Banks where he's gone through. You see him herring down the right. You think, oh, go on then, one more touch it on into the box, towards the box, and like the defender will either have to take you out or you're through. And he ran and forgot to take the ball. Oh God, you just like. It was one of those great champ. It was a good bit of play, and you thought it was
Wasn't it
through.
refreshing though that we were creating lots of chances in the first 20 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're all scribbling down here. There's quite a lot to talk about, and I'm sure we're going to miss the odd thing here and there.
Well, one person we haven't mentioned really is Banks, and I'm not necessarily talking about the goal when it comes, and we'll come to that very shortly, I'm sure. But I just thought he seemed to be involved in everything. He was the architect of Bloxham's goal, I think, really, wasn't he? Because I think Andy touched on that.
There's that right foot shot he had, Tim. Do you remember that one where he just drilled it across the goal, and he showed a great technique with his weaker foot.
Yeah, he's got a bit of form for doing it now. If you remember at Peterborough, he scores. Or was he score with his left one?
Well, I'm talking about the right foot shot. I'm talking about the right
foot shot. I'm
shot
just saying generally, he's getting a bit of form for having a little bit of a shot from outside the box.
Do you know, Tim? It's a reverse Tony Ellis, what he does.
Yeah.
For those of certain vintage.
Yeah.
Very quick feet, drop of the shoulder, one way or the other, curl it in first shot, but he's obviously with his left foot.
It's great to see that people, players are showing that willingness to take a chance, because that won the game for us at Peterborough, him doing that. And he was doing it all game. I noticed they don't always come off. And like so with Bloxham's, it's his shot, it's parried, but then we get. I think he picked it up, and then it fell to Bloxham, and Bloxham finishes it off. But the game was full of those type of half chances that he's prepared to have a go rather than keep hold of it. And if Ole gets in that team ahead of him anywhere at the moment, it's a travesty, because he's creating stuff, and that's the important thing. He's creating chances, he's creating opportunities for himself and his teammates, and he's you get him and you get Imre playing, and we get Morgan back, and all of a sudden we might just start to have the makings of the team that we always thought we were going to have at the beginning of the season. That we're nowhere near.
Just what worries me, Tim, is where
does he play?
Fit Imre and Banks in?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Where do we fit Imre and Banks?
Well, Andy, he's a left footer, isn't he, Banks? So he can play left wing back. What's wrong with him playing left wing back?
I think if you did watch parts of yesterday, Banks's defensive work would have worried you. He's signed as a winger at the end of the day. He's not a right back. He's not a wing back, really. He's a winger, and that it's just that pang. You want him in the team because you want to get as many creative players into that team as you can. But I do worry that where would he play? Where would he play?
Look at that from Rob, Andy. Love Banks. He doesn't offer much defensively, but I'd rather have him on and take the risk. Absolutely. You score 4, we'll score 5, and goals will come with.
I don't remember Wes Houlihan having many defensive qualities. Do you?
No, I really think Everett wants him to be the man behind the strikers.
I was about to say he could play in a cam.
He's tried him there, and it sort of didn't work. And he's certainly very favourable to bowler playing there. He's very favourable to bowler playing.
I'll tell you what, Hansen was okay yesterday in that role. I was surprised when he was hooked. He was involved in quite a lot of our positive runs. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but
I think we just got to trust Evo, who's going to see him on the training ground and pick the best of what he's seeing, and that's the best I can hope for. He obviously wants Imre. I mean, can you remember in second half Imre?
His face when Imre
when Imre went down, he just his hands went straight to his head.
I think we all thought he's
he's
out for another 6 months or something.
I think Evo, more than anybody on that ground, just was willing him to get up. He looked seriously worried when Imre went down. So he's obviously got a lot of stock on Imre being fit. So I'm sure we'll see Imre start on Wednesday night.
Imre, my seats was right above the players' tunnel on yesterday, and I got a good rub at Imre's haircut. It looks like a hedgehog. I've got a very good close up of Coulson's hairdo as well. It's something out of the 80s. So we've talked about Banks. Scott Banks, the efforts, and he scored a great goal. Tim, as I've just said, the inverse,
haven't you?
You what?
You missed Fletcher's, which was Hansen.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, you missed.
That was.
Hansen, probably one of the runs of the match. I think he picked up on the halfway line and ran at the defence, which again is what we want to see. We want to see players picking up the ball, not going for the square and the easy, square pass and the easy pass or playing it back. He picked the ball up and he ran at the defence and he ran, great control, draws the defender. Ash Fletcher just stays the right side of onside and he slips it through, and then Fletch it hits it and probably I think the keeper probably thought it was going to go across him, and it didn't. It went in at the near post, and a fantastic goal.
We were talking last pod, Tim, about the basics not being done. I might have been in the one before about lack of technique, leaning back when Lions was spooning him over, and Coulson and Fletcher did just the basics very, very well. Then he got his head down, didn't look up, didn't lean back, struck through the ball with his laces, and you're not stopping that, are you? No. It's a sign of a man in ever-increasing confidence. I think it's 18-9 or 9-10, something like that.
I think he's about 10 goals this season now.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
I think if you're talking about Fletcher getting a dozen before Christmas or something like that, or 15 before Christmas, you'd be well happy with that. It just does scare me that he's out of contract at the end of the season with no +1. So
can we take some of Hetway's years on his deal and give it to
swap?
Like
Swapsies.
3.5 years of it. Can we take all 3.5 years off now? Yeah.
I mean, what a turnaround though compared to when he first joined.
Well, yeah.
Do you remember how poor he was? I mean, if that's not a sign of how important confidence is in football, I don't know what is.
No, he's probably in like his best or second best batch of goals,
vein of form
in his career, in his career, and so now he's looking. He looks a confident lad now. He must feel $1 million comparative to what he felt in those early days, and we're definitely getting the benefits. But the trouble is, someone somewhere he can speak to. He can probably speak in January if he's out of contract at the end of the season. He can speak to other clubs, so we need to do something about it. So
we need Downsy to sort it out, don't we? Where's Downsy? Well, he's not sorted this out, has he?
So someone needs to sort it out pretty sharpish, because we don't have anyone else like him. He's the best we've got, best we've had for a while, I think. So if he's going to, it's going to be hard to replace if we lose him, I think.
I think there's a good opportunity for him and Ennis to get a bit of a partnership together when Ennis gets back as well. I mean, we forget how important sometimes Ennis was to the team because he's played so little since he's come back. But I think probably that combination of him and Fletcher is
said exactly the same, Tim, last night.
He's probably the one to focus on, because I think when you have Taylor and Ennis, I'm not sure that I'm not sure that's quite going to work. I know Fletcher's not necessarily the best in the air, but what he is good at is he's creating chances for others as well. And so that for me, they would be my front two if everybody was on the basis of what I've seen so far this season, when everybody's fit. So let's hope. You're right. Let's hope we can do something and not do the usual and let them run the contract down and then clear off to someone who's going to offer them another $2 or $3 grand a week. That
I just
it's like going back to the Oyston years where that used to happen all the time. I don't think it's happened a lot under Simon that I can really remember that where I would think that we should have done something and could have done something. But it happened all the time, didn't it? With Varney and all those players who walked away from the club for basically nothing because we didn't protect the position well enough.
Well, I get the impression from few people that I talk to that it's not about while he'd want paying is what he considers his worth. It's not particularly likely to be about a money situation. As long as it's a reasonable offer, he's quite happy here, and he's certainly having a good trot. So let's hope he is happy, the club are happy, and they come to some arrangement fairly imminently, and we can get that one over the line. Anyone who leaves that till post January is asking for trouble. But we've got a busy period coming up, and we've got to be careful about that as well.
Got a 4-year deal on the new pie supplier, according to Big Dog.
What they made them yesterday in the last 4 years, yeah.
Obviously, Tim, we'll talk about the Banks goal very briefly. What a strike! It was a joy to watch that.
It was like a doppelganger for Peterborough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it literally was like a copycat goal from that. And it just shows the importance of players having the confidence just to take a chance. Nobody's going to ridicule you if you have a go and it doesn't quite work out every time. But Banks excites me, and I'm sure he excites everybody else who watches him because he's got that in him. He's got that ability to just cut inside and hit one and actually, get his laces under it and find the corners and it was a it was a worldie, wasn't it? And that's what you want. But it's a worldie, but it's not a worldie he's done once. It's a worldie he's done at least twice, and he's had 2 or 3 shots even in this game that could have replicated it as well. So it's great to see. It's great to have him back, and I just hope that he's we're going to see plenty more like it, whether it's on the left or the right. I don't care. But I think he needs one way.
For me, he's got to play every game for me.
He's got to. Well, we even saw it Reading, didn't we? Well, we would have done if we hadn't fucked off at that point, like I did. But he had a great last 10 minutes when he came on, didn't he, against Reading, and had a decent, not identical, but a not dissimilar chance where he's cutting off the right and hit one and made the keeper make a save, and that was probably the only shot we had in that second half, and that's what he does. And
I think Evo talked about taking risks in the right areas, and you probably saw some of that yesterday with passes being attempted that they wouldn't have done a few weeks ago, and the fact that Banks can cut inside and shoot, because that first goal came from that exact same move, really, from Banks cutting in the same, but that one, I mean, fired in the top corner. You know what? We've had loads of times, it feels like, sitting in the south, that teams have done that off their left on our right, and a guy's cut in and curled it in with the right foot into the top corner. It feels like that happened quite a lot in the Championship, and we've had no one doing that. And now we've got someone who can do it, and it feels great. It feels great that it's us scoring these goals, not somebody else. Well done.
XG of nearly 1 in the first half, which was great to see. We were going through games under Steve Bruce, was XG of like 0.4 for the entire game, so that's a big plus. Dominated possession as well, which is also good to see. But strange change at half-time, Tim. I knew Lee Evans was going to come back on because he was warming up with the subs, and then made a concerted effort just to get back in the dressing room ahead of everyone else. And so I could see that was on the wall. Hansen coming off, who I thought had a good game. Beautiful slide rule pass, wasn't it, for Fletcher's goal, like we've said. Quite a strange one, really. And
yeah, to be honest with you, when I was watching the game, and obviously you're up in, so you're chatting a bit, and I didn't realise how influential the first half Hansen actually had. I'd obviously seen him put the ball through for Fletch, but when I've watched it back, he does okay, doesn't he? But maybe it's also about, we're 3-0 up. It's about managing the squad. We spoke before about how he put a very strong team out against Harrogate, and it's maybe a case of thinking, right, well, I want to get as many players as I can up to that level that I want them to play at. And Evans is one of the ones who struggled, I think it's fair to say. And maybe he's thinking, right, we'll give him a half. We know we're 3-0 up, aren't we, at that stage? Give him a half and get him involved in this, hopefully, what is a positive game, because we've had 2 really bad negative games, haven't we? So I'm trying to work out what the rationale was, and that to me seems the most logical. That he's thinking, I want to get Evans at that level. I want to get Evans fit, and and spread it around a bit. Because I don't think on what went on in the first half, he's not been hooked because he had a crap game, has he, Hansen?
I thought a bit harsh. Yeah, I thought it was a bit hard done too.
I don't think that was the rationale. I don't think he's hooked him because he wasn't playing up to the requisite standard. I think he's hooked him because he's had a game plan that I want to get as many players. He probably was always thinking, if we get into the position we got in, that he's got. I mean, we had one of the strongest benches we've probably had this season, I think. If you look at it, with Morgan and with Bowler,
Hobby,
Hobby, and and a lot of them get on, don't they? And I think it's all about getting miles in on the clock, so to speak, from the point of view of time on the pitch. How much you're involved in a competitive game.
Andy, so Evans has come on, as Tim's alluded to there. Ebo's plan might have been just to try and take the sting out of the game and consolidate for 15-20 minutes. Didn't work, did it?
No chance. We were wide open start of the second half. They had that sort of cross across. The guy's only, I mean, he could have fell over and scored it, I think. And he
couldn't believe I couldn't believe he'd missed that.
I don't think he can.
Honestly, you see it back.
The walking footballers could have put that into him.
I literally wait for the highlights to come out just to see it, and just like to see how he's missed it. God only knows. And having missed that, and then they drew one across, and the centre forward got in front of
Armstrong on it.
The pair of them, Andy. He got in between them.
Yeah,
I think he went through Horsfall's legs. I think.
Yeah, I think he did. What annoyed me was the really slow build up to the goal. It was kind of in slow motion. No one closing down. There wasn't much urgency. No one getting tight. No one touched tight to him.
And once they scored, the momentum, didn't it? It looked like they were.
The atmosphere changed in the ground like that, didn't it?
Massively. And they were like flooding forward, weren't they? And then
they nearly scored again. To just rewind before the goal. Peacock Fowles made another worldy save. As you said, Andy, streaming forward down the left, weren't they? And he's pulled off another worldie, and you're thinking, oh, fuck, how have we got to this position? We were like a boxer on the ropes at the time.
Because half time, we were the most relaxed that I've ever known us, I think.
Yes.
I went and had a chat to Walshy. Good to see him back, by the way. If he's watching, it was good to see Walshy yesterday, and good to see him back watching the pool, because been very, very poorly, Walshy. He's a well-known Blackpool fan to a lot of us. but good to see him at the game yesterday, and it was really weird because it went from very relaxed, and within 10 minutes we were all panicking there. I mean, literally, I'd gone in full scale panic. Sort that job out, and like, but then we turned that round and went up and.
Let's have the view from the corporate box for this one, because it was our best goal of the game, wasn't it, Tim? I'm sure you've seen a very good, from a good vantage point, to see the beautiful flowing goal that was scored. Just starting off with a little knockdown from Fletch.
I don't know whether you're on about the same Peacock foul save that came after the goal, but there was.
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
you were you? Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. That's for me is the defining moment in the game, because if that goes in, it goes 3-2. We are properly on the back foot, aren't we? And and they're really going to come at us. So every credit to him, because I think that's we said before, didn't we? About somebody said in the chat about defining moments, and that was the
crucial points of the game, crucial saves. Yeah, at crucial times.
Yeah, again, we've got Banksy, haven't we? We've got Banksy playing in Fletcher. And it's a great finish. As I recall, it was at the far end from where I was, because we were sort of more south base, but across the keeper into the bottom corner, and it's a sign of a centre forward who's confident, isn't it? He finished it with aplomb, and again Banks has got himself an assist. What was it? A goal and 2 assists in the game,
and then got hooked.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? Because it's 4-1. That once it goes 4-1, the result sorted, and then he's rested him because we've got to play on Wednesday night. And
you look really
disappointed. If he does not start on Wednesday night, I will, show me.
Don't be surprised. Still open. Don't be surprised.
He's got to start, Andy. There's no way.
I am telling you. He will play Imre. He's got to. He will. He's been holding a lot of hope on Imre.
Put Banks on the left. He cannot not play Banks on Wednesday. He'd be mad if he doesn't. He's too good. He's too good to have him on the bench.
Is there an argument to start Imre on the bench again, given what happened with the?
I don't think he will. I think with Andy, I think he was going to start Imre. It wouldn't surprise me if he starts Bowler as well.
The all multiple subs, wasn't there, throughout the game, just to see the game out. But I think that goal...
It was nice having a great bench, by the way.
Yeah. That fourth goal has killed it. And again, that's come against the run of play almost, like, one of our other goals in the first half. And it's good to see us being clinical-ish for once, instead of being...
Agreed.
What's the word, Tim? Profligate in front of goal, is that?
Yeah. That's the word. I'll give you that one. Unlike soft hospitality, which isn't. I did Google it. It's not even a thing, but it will be.
Tim mentioned he was going for soft hospitality in our WhatsApp group for those who are wondering, and that got ridiculed quite rightly, didn't it? I think Nick or Mitch picked up on it.
Yeah, what the F is soft hospitality. But it'll be in the Oxford Dictionary before I might have the next year or two, because it's a new buzzword.
When we do get to the end of the game, by the way, here,
Peacock Farrell makes another save.
Yeah, he does.
4-1 again. He's done it again.
Yeah.
From Armstrong. So that must be 4-5 decent saves he's made in the game, and every credit to him.
We've actually not talked about the Carlisle goal, have we? No, we haven't, have we?
We did. Yeah,
they went through legs.
Sorry, yes, we have. I meant the save. But I was just going back to Peacock Farrell. That's where my brain went with that. Should he have got down quicker? Because Peacock Farrell does have this habit of making a lot of fantastic saves and then just making the odd little blooper every now and then. That's what I was coming on about, yeah. But he was brilliant all game. I'm not digging him out in any way.
I don't think he can. I don't think he's... I think he's shut his critics up
Yes.
And good on him. And he's turned the whole thing around, and that has only come out of his own performances. So congratulations to him. It's not very often once an element of our fans get on players' backs that they turn it round. So good on him. But I do want to mention something else that yesterday. Sorry, that happened yesterday. So, there's nothing to do with the game. It was just this in the stands. The great Rob Purdon was there, and in his new role as a resident artist, and much welcome by all of us, by the way. And he took my grandson down to see his Matthews paintings, and in the West, it looks absolutely awesome down there, by the way, and more to come. I'll let him fill everybody in on that, what's to come. But the Matthews paintings were awesome. So yeah, I got a picture of my grandson and Rob with the paintings, and absolutely wonderful. And good on him.
Ex-podcaster, of course.
Yes, so we've actually had Rob. Yeah, I actually spoke to Rob yesterday. He was on my row. Said hello to him. I fully agree.
I saw him as well, actually.
Did you? All right.
Yeah, so we've all seen him yesterday.
Gets about, doesn't he? Yeah, so I walked past it as well. Got a picture with my lad and his mate. We've got a picture in front of it. Yeah, superb. Yeah, Tim, we've had him up in the loft, right up in the room above me, if you remember, in the early days.
I thought it was in your back in your back garage thing.
Garage.
Yeah,
no, it was in the loft. It was in the loft studio, not the garage.
All right,
studio.
okay, all right. I'll bow to your superior recollections.
He's a phenomenal artist, and Rob, and to see him doing all the art in our stands now, and
it looks so much brighter when you come through those turnstiles, because it was depressing, wasn't it, before? Yeah,
very grey, and that's what it was. But like now, it looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see what he does with the rest of the stands now, because he's
got a few canvases to fill, hasn't he?
Lots.
He drew us in the Armfield as well, up above the bottle bar. That was before Andy was on the show, unfortunately. So if you're ever in the Armfield, the former bottle bar is now a Pie and Peas bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm quite happy with that, to be above the Pie and Peas bar. Just one thing about the game, Evo v Hughes, who'd win in this face-off? Did anyone see it? They were going at each other like cat and dog after Honeyman got flattered. I don't know what Mark Hughes...
I think Evo told Hughes to fuck off, didn't he?
You could see Evo building, trying to like just keep it all in, but he cracked. Oh, fuck off. Giving it that to him. Brilliant. I think they all shook hands in the end.
Yeah,
I've been there. I'm sure you have, Tim, on the sidelines as a manager.
Yeah, sometimes you get a bit animated.
You do,
don't you? But
David Coleman, Evo told you to fuck off on TV.
Oh, did he? I didn't pick up on TV. Right, brilliant. Dennis, CJ's misses, yes. Put through right at the end, and you...
Oh,
you knew he was going to miss, didn't you? You knew he was going to miss, and he did. Thing is, like with CJ, he ain't getting back in this team unless there's injuries, is he? Not a chance.
I think it was probably telling that when he did bring him on, he brought him on in the middle up front. And if he's going to use him, he's going to use him for pace and pace only, and that's it.
Yeah.
And when the game stretched, you remember Huddersfield away, was it this season or last season? When the game stretched and the space to run into, and you can hit the ball into that space, he's dynamite. He's quicker. He's quicker than virtually any defender he comes up against.
He used to be.
Not anymore.
His problem is he just like he has. I think we were talking about yesterday, and we were saying he has 10 moments in a season, and that's it. And there could half of those could come in one game.
He's done, Andy. He, as long as these players are fit, he'll be nowhere near the team. So we've done CJ to death anyway. So let's move on. Second half stats up on the screen now. XG of 2.11. This is just second half. Just second half. Look at Carlisle's 1.44. I mean, just generally, what a great game of football it was.
It was. Listen, it's one of those ones where you're glad you made the effort because it was very easy to sit at home, watch it on TV, don't travel. You listen, and particularly ones who had to travel. I 100% get it. I'm not criticizing anybody, but it was one of those ones where you actually think, yeah, we're gonna do it. And we decided to do hospitality because we don't normally do it. I very rarely go in hospitality at Blackpool. I don't really. 45
bullshit.
45 quid, absolute bargain. With a bit of a meal and everything. But it was the fact, it's 5:30 and you think on a Sunday, and this is why a lot of people haven't gone. 5:30 on a Sunday, can I be bothered? And if you were bothered, you saw a really good game of football, didn't you? And that's the good bit, because I tell you what, it's been slim pickings this year. It's been incredibly slim pickings. We've all been everywhere and watched them home and away, and there's been some dross. That was a decent game of football, and both teams contributed towards that. Just a pity. It'd be nice if there's a few more Blackpool fans in there, just because I think, you need to see a game like that to lift your spirits a little bit, because after Reading and after Harrogate, it's very easy to get too negative about it all.
And them trying to come here and win played their part in that. Not to park in the bus and then hoping to hit us on the break. And they played their part in it, and good luck to them as well.
They were unlucky, really. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a 4-1, 3-goal margin defeat for Carlisle. I've always liked Carlisle anyway, and I hope.
Well, they should get back in the league, shouldn't they? They need to get back in the league because they've got fantastic support. They've got, it's a bit old school, but it's still a decent ground up there, and it's a fixture I always quite enjoy. I quite enjoy going up there. It's for an afternoon and watching a game, and they need to be in the league. They shouldn't be non-league.
So come on, Hughesy, get them up. We'll get that away game back on. Yeah, they've got a lot of potential, Carl. My dad always used to say this. No clubs around them, aren't they? Big catchment area.
Well, they got in the first division back in the late 60s.
74, 75 or 75.
Late 60s. It was them early 70s, wasn't it?
It was,
of a certain vintage.
I think it was 74, 75 or the following season. They had a year in Division 1, They're in what is now the Prem, Yeah.
Right, let's do player ratings. We've not done it for a while, but want to do it for this game because there was a lot of very good performances out there. So start with you, Tim. You can have Peacock Fowl. Only 7.8 on the FOTBob rating system. FOTMob. Let's use the fielding player rating system to give our scores.
I actually listen. We can look at. You can only play against the opposition, and as a keeper, you can only do what you can do. And I would say I'm going to go 9-. I don't want that. I think he was that good. I think 5 good saves, and 2 of them were pivotal.
It's got to be a 9+, hasn't it? 9+. Why the
9?
minus?
No, 9. It's not a 9+. It's not a 9+. It's a 9-. 9- is a great score. It's not negative.
I'll go
so. Go on, I'll push it up to a 9.
Yeah, bump him up to a 9. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100% correct.
Right, Andy. Let's go right to left. You can have Horsefall. 1 through
7.
his legs. Yeah, 7. That's fair. Yeah, bit of misplaced pass as well.
I'm not messing about with the minuses and pluses today.
Casey, Tim.
8.
Zach Ashworth, 6.8. Put that killer ball in, didn't he? Was it for our first goal? For that cross that came in, yeah. It's only 6.8 on the.
Made a couple of mistakes, but overall, I'd rather have him on the left than Coulson personally. But anyway, by the by, I think 7.
Scott Banks, Tim, best performance in a tangerine shirt so far? Question mark. Got to be up there.
Yeah, I think I can't differentiate between him and Peacock Farrell. I think the two of them, and maybe with Fletcher can join them, were the pick of the crop. And so you look at his contribution, look at his goal, which was exceptional. You look at he's got 2 assists. One was a bit scrappy, but he'd had a decent shot before the scrappy bit, which created the chance in the first place. So I'm going 9 with him as well.
George Honeyman was a bit busier, wasn't he, than the Reading
Very
game,
good.
Andy? Very good, yeah, involved in a lot.
Yeah, really good. He's starting to show his worth, Honeyman. Not a big bloke, is he? But he buzzes around, that's for sure. Making his honey. 8+.
His midfield partner, Jordan Brown, Tim.
Yeah, I don't remember as much of a positive contribution from him, but what I remember was he broke things up quite well. He got a few good tackles in, and he sometimes in midfield it's about making the whole thing tick, isn't it? And picking the ball up and covering and making sure that your Honeymans and your Hansons can have a bit of a license to get forward. So I'm going to go 8.
Emil Hansen, 1/2. Andy, you ought to do it. Hansen and Evans played half the game each, haven't they?
Yeah, but you're not going to get much out of me for Evans. But like Hansen, I'd probably 7+ or 8. But Evans, I'm not the biggest fan, I'm afraid. I just think he doesn't move the ball quick enough now. The player that started with us is not the player that he is now. He just does not move the ball fast enough. Too busy looking for trying to look if there's a 40-yard ball on, when a simple ball moved quickly would have been a lot better. So I just want to
play the ball forward enough either, does he?
No, stick with Hansen. 8.
Yeah. Hayden Coulson, Tim, he grew into this game for me. He was a bit sort of dodgy to start with, but he grew in. He improved as the game went on. I thought.
I like it. Listen, I think when we get the best 11 out, and we've got everybody back off the physio table, then I think he's going to struggle to hold down a starting place in the team. But he does a job. I think he does a job on that left. I'm a lot more. The more forward he plays, the better he looks for me. I think when he's defending, it can be a bit hit and miss. Sometimes you get a good performance out of him when he's defending, and sometimes it's not so good. So I'm going to say 7+. I think for last night. I think, and it was a good. He contributed. It was good to watch.
Ash Fletcher, Andy, 2 goals. In a rich
9.
vein of form, as we've said earlier. 9. Yeah.
9. Yeah.
He started his move as well. It's just a very intelligent little backwards header just to start the move. He started the move and ended it with 2 moments of class. A bit like, it reminded me a bit of GTF's goal at United, that kind of finish. And the goal was similar almost in the way the ball was played down in the area.
It was a good move, well put across, and it was a deft touch into
deft touch, that's it. Deft touch.
Yeah, we were right on that, and it was
I love that goal, the flowing move.
But this is what worries me with this is that we're giving away too many chances, and that I think personally, and I might be wrong here, we don't have a very good sitting central midfielder who does that job religiously. Just they all want to play a bit too far forward for me, and I think that having an anchor allows the wing backs then to play further forward.
We need Kenny Dougal back. That's what we need.
Yeah, we do.
Do you know what? Do you know what? He is exactly what we need. The best Kenny Dougal. is what this team would cry out for.
I'm sure Evo knows this, and let's hope he goes shopping in the January transfer window for that player.
I always thought Brown was going to be that player, but he never plays him there, and he doesn't do it. He does a lot of his work further forward, and he seems to want Evans to do it, and he's not that player either. And so we seem stuck. And so the wing backs, when they get stuck forward, there's not enough cover, and so the centre halves are getting pulled out to the wings too much. And it cost us at Burton, didn't it? When Casey got
sucked out for
pulled
Beasley,
out,
yeah.
and then the cross went in and Beasley scored. It's cost us, and I just worry that it's going to keep costing us until we plug that little hole. But anyway, I digress.
Okay, let's move on. Tom Bloxham, finally. That's for you, Tim, to wrap it up.
Yeah, and listen, I want him to succeed. He is playing out of position. He's doing a job for the team. I thought he looked so much better last night than he has done in some games. He's actually looked very frustrated with himself, I think, in quite a few fixtures, because he's obviously wants to succeed, but something's got in the way of that. And I think we start to see last night a little bit of what he can give to the team. And it might be on the right or on the left or wherever when everybody's back. But I think he worked really, really hard yesterday and got himself a goal. I'd love him to score at the North when it's full. I think that will do his confidence huge amount of good, and hopefully that's not too far off. So I'm toying between a 7+ and an 8. And give me some help, guys. What do you think?
8.
I'd say 8.
Let's go 8. He deserves it. Well done, Tom.
He's got his goal as well.
Yeah.
Okay, just before we go, Rotherham away on Wednesday. All important games, aren't they? League games, but this is a very important game. Do we accept a point, or would a point be good enough, or do we need to go for the win? They've only lost once at home all season. Played 9, won 4, drawn 1, lost 1.
Doesn't augur well for an away win, that does it? That type of statistic.
Not a happy hunting ground for us.
No.
Never is. Never has been.
No.
I honestly, I really want to win, but I'd take a point. I really want to win, but I'd take a point. Yeah, definitely.
Right, I think we'll leave it there. We've got Lincoln coming up after that, but a bit further away, so 5-6 days away. But
7-0 winning coming.
Predictions for Rotherham, predictions for Lincoln. Let's go for one each. Go on, Tim, let's start with you.
2-0 defeat against Rotherham.
Fucking hell.
2-1 win on Saturday.
Lincoln a third. That's
I know, but we're on a roll at home. 1-1 out of however many.
Oh, well, Lincoln quite poor away from home. Played 9, won 3, drawn 2, lost 4. So I'd say that's the more winnable. I'm going for a draw. 1-1 draw at Rotherham. 2-0 win at home to Lincoln.
Okay, there you go.
You don't want to ask me, because every time I forecast us to win, we get bombed. So,
use reverse psychology then, Andy.
Oh yeah. So Rotherham win 2-0 and 1-0. We lose.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, you picked us to lose. I do that regularly.
Yeah,
hoping it will be proved.
Heavy defeats for both.
I'm only doing it because I really want us to win. And every time I predict us to win, we get just lose every time. So I'm going to say lose. So in the real hope that we win.
Just to wrap this show up, then, can I just point out this for Mark that we actually won on telly, so anything is now possible. But Mark, it wasn't on Sky; it was on TNT. Just to caveat that.
Can they show us every week?
We did all right against TNT in the other FA Cup games, from memory. We seem to do okay with them. It's just the curse of Sky.
I doubt they'll be showing us at Ipswich.
And on that note, I think
We
we'll
all
leave it. We've got all this positivity flowing, and then Ipswich has popped out of that effing velvet bag, with that stupid ball being drawn Ipswich away. But who knows? It could be a time to exercise the ghost of never winning away at Ipswich. But they deserve it from that performance anyway. Right, I think we'll leave it there.
Come on, the pool.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. We're on 120. It's been a long show. If you are watching on YouTube, do like and subscribe to the channel. I think we're nearly on 2,000, so get that subscribe button pressed. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your family. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. We have got a Patreon support program, patreon.com/SeasidersPod. Support us for the price of a pint per month, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks for running the comments. As we said, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for downloading, and up the pool. Go on the pool. We're up for the cup.
Been involved in 2. Can he make 3? Not on this occasion. Well taken by Walsh. Davis is on the far side. Ainscough coming square. That's the ball. That's a good try. What a goal! Oh, what a goal!